Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern. We all have the natural power inside of us to attract anything. Any amount of money, any special person, any amazing experience, anything that we desire. And yes, we are all magical manifesting beings. Whatever it is that you want or need in this life, you can totally have it if you're willing to relax into the feeling that it is already yours. Can you imagine the reality of it? Can you feel that your dream life is already here now? Feel, remember, not the head, not the ego mind, not through the ego mind. What does receiving your dream life actually feel like? Can you describe it in deep detail? Let's imagine that I was your best friend, and you're describing in the detail the most amazing movie you have ever seen about your life. And you're watching in a magical manifesting theater. What did you see? What happened? How did you feel when the movie ended? Did you feel satisfied? This deeply satisfied feeling of relief is the place to hang out and practice deepening into all day long. Really sit with this amazing feeling, make extra time to soften and explore this experience more. It will help you to feel like you can manifest anything. Once you're a master at relaxing into this super satisfied, highly vibe, joyful space, knowing you could easily wait 1,000 years for the actual manifestation of your dreams, then your desire must materialize for you. When you really feel relaxed about everything in your life, it's like the old game of wanting must immediately end. Wanting your dream was just to give you the gift of receiving it. The real goodies are magnetized to you the moment you let go of wanting and step into the world of receiving. All of us are truly a magical manifesting miracle. So, enjoy the party. All of us are on this journey in different ways, different forms, and we are the secret, and there's several unknowns that we are discovering, such as higher consciousness. The only way that any of us are ever going to be happy is to love. Unless you love, your life will flash by. Free life. Whenever anything happens to any of us in our lives, open your heart to it. Even if you're afraid of it and you've judged it as wrong, still go into it fully. And a welcoming, open, accepting heart. Otherwise, the mind will get in the way and contaminate the lesson your soul is learning. Your mind is fabulous at judging things, and all judgment ends up creating heavy, defensive, fear-based energy in our bodies. Our hearts are a master at acceptance. It is designed to accept everything and everyone as they are. It can melt through any fearful moment, help you understand that everything that happens to you is for your soul's evolution towards enlightenment. You become a truly powerful being when you can maintain an open, accepting heart and devote every moment to exploring life from this welcoming perspective. What we are really afraid of in life is the unknown. The mind would rather remain occupied ridiculously busy with 1,001 things instead of coming face to face with the vast unknown. Yes, and the universe is infinite, and this means where you think there is an end, a boundary, there is not one there. There is another world, another sky, another dimension of life to be explored. And by simply keeping your attention on vast, limitless exploration of life, you will see that your heart has no boundaries. It can find deep peace with everything and everyone. When you can practice this daily, for at least 90 days in a row, you'll truly step into becoming the master of your life. Always remember, that which you think is yours is not. That which you think is yours is not. Everything is borrowed. All your words, your knowledge, your ideas, your body, your possessions, your desires, all your friends, family, and even your kids, they are all on temporary loan. You don't get to keep any of these things. The only thing that remains with you when you leave the body is your consciousness, your awareness, that which gives life to your soul. So do whatever you can in this very short time that any of us have on this earth to raise our consciousness. Be creative. Choose to think that deeper thought which makes your heart sing. Choose to think that deeper thought which makes your heart sing. The highest conscious being on this planet is the one who has the most compassion, the one who can open their heart to everyone, love everyone for whomever they are and whatever they did. And to me, seriousness is a sickness. And the sense of humor makes you more human, more humble. The sense of humor, according to me, is one of the most essential parts of religiousness, Osho. To this coming week, take this week to explore what higher consciousness is like by simply opening your hearts to each and every moment. Whatever experience is here now, whether it's doing laundry, sitting in a rush hour traffic, or making love, open your heart fully to the experience. Don't be half-hearted. Breathe the experience fully into your bodies. Feel it moving through the center of your chest. Keep saying yes, opening up to what is happening for you. Eventually, you'll reach a moment when you discover God. We always reach God when we don't shut down and dive deeper, for it is the limitless love that is at our very core. Try it this week. You'll be thankful you did. Many of us have it's interesting, we get these attitudes about things. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are aware of it. It might just be the control of the ego mind. You get more and no less than what you believe you deserve. Dan Millman. You get no more and no less than what you believe you deserve. So you look at right now on this planet, we use what we call money. What is your relationship like with money? Are you just barely on speaking terms, distant acquaintances who never connect, or are you best friends with money? Many people who have unhealthy relationships with money are holding themselves back from manifesting the kind of a lifestyle and freedom they desire and deserve. If your relationship with money was like a relationship you had with a person, what kind of relationship would you like to have? How would you like to feel about the money that is in your life now and the money that is yet to come? Imagine for a few moments that you can see, feel, and experience money as if the money that's in your life. Now, we're a real live human being. What would they look like? How old are they? And how are you treating Mr. or Mrs. Money, Miss Money? Are you needy or demanding in any way? Do you often feel, I have to have more of you? Or I never see enough of you? Or do you have a fairly healthy relationship with Mr. or Miss Money? Yet you don't really trust that they will always be abundant when you are in need of it. Either way, it's important to evaluate and understand that your current relationship is with money. One very important thing to understand is that the money is just pure divine energy. The divine God source is in every atom and molecule in this universe. So it is definitely found in those electrons in your bank account, in your pocket, your wallet. When you realize that it is truly pure conscious energy, it will form into whatever you want it to be. So for now, let's imagine that you are best friends with your money. What does this relationship feel like for you? See what it takes to receive your best friend's trust in you and your trust in them. Trust that this person is going to be there for you when you need them, and that they will do whatever they can to support you. When money is your best friend, you know that you can relax deeply inside and know it will always be there for you. When you can fully let go and trust money, you'll see that it is always supporting you, no matter what occurs in your life. The interesting thing is that this element of trust shifts your vibration and allows even more money to pour into your bank account. When you're best friends with someone, you truly respect, honor, and appreciate them for who they are. You don't try to change them, and you always focus on what you appreciate about them instead of what you dislike. See yourself now walking hand in hand with money. Money is at your side, supporting you, providing for you, so that you can experience the joys and growing opportunities of this life. Just like a best friend, notice how good it feels to have money as a true friend. Now, to some, this may be a little funny or uncomfortable. That's a good thing, because you're stepping outside of your normal comfort zone. And each night before bed, this week, take 5-10 minutes to open up your heart to feeling a healthy, abundant relationship with money. Practice knowing and having a special place in your heart for money that feels good. Trusting and supportive of you and your life's journey. The more trust you can grow in your relationship with money, the easier it becomes to manifest the material life you deserve. Practice feeling that money is pure divine energy and see how good it feels to imagine having an abundance of it in your life to share with others. Throughout each day this week, if any fearful, limiting, doubtful, or negative thoughts about money arise, just say no thank you and refocus on what your trusting relationship with money is like. You can relax into knowing that the perfect amount of money will always be there for you, no matter what happens, all throughout your entire life. You are neither conscious nor its content. You are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Each of us are the timeless source, the supreme reality. And we can choose to trust that. And this is one of the biggest things that we, as human beings, how often do we worry about our futures? You may not be aware of it, yet the act of worrying is one of the biggest energy drains people have that stops them from manifesting the life of their dreams. Worry is a lot like TV. Worry is a lot like TV, and that the worried mindset will pull you in and entertain you for hours, days, years, and yes, even lifetimes. Worrying is praying for what you don't want to manifest, and is exactly how you create what you don't want in your life. Think about it. Feel about that for a minute. Worry is a lot like TV. That the worried mindset will pull you in and entertain you for hours, days, years, and even lifetimes. Worrying is praying for what you don't want to manifest, and is exactly how you create what you don't want in your life. If you are always putting energy into what you don't want to happen, how much energy is left to meditate on and feel what you do want? When we spend our time hoping and wishing that we don't experience something, the universe just hears that as something you really need to experience. Worry stems from not trusting your personal connection to the universe. It is created from being attached to some positive and negative idea about a future situation. The mind is attached to the thought that it will not happen the way you think it should. Worrying is living in a what-if state of mind that is visualizing what you don't want to experience instead of what you do. When you are worried, you have stopped appreciating, trusting, and are focusing on fear. What might or might not occur is ultimately up to the universe in the end. And our main job is to raise our vibration so that we do our little part in making the planet a more enjoyable place and inadvertently attracting the highest possible people and situations into our lives. Worry is caused from a lack of consciousness. Worry is caused from a lack of consciousness, which can be shifted with a little mental discipline and focus. When worrying, the reins on the mind are too tight on fear and too loose on love. The mental horses of the mind run wild when worry is present. You end up getting pulled down. You end up getting pulled down roads you never wanted to go down. If you've been practicing the fine art of worrying for years, you may be numb to passion, pleasure, and freedom, and have become a worry zombie. To step out of the zombie zone, you simply need to do one thing: pull back on the reins of your mind. Steer those addicted horses back to your pleasure pastures by staying focused on trust and feeling the positive outcome you really want. You'll soon find that the mind is much happier, and its worried approach to living will leave your life stable. The universe knows what it is doing. It is divinely intelligent and vastly creative. What if the future was 100% perfect, exactly as it showed up, and there was nothing you could do about it? What if you could see the bigger picture of the next 100 years of your life and know that there was absolutely nothing you needed to change for it to learn what your soul came here to learn? How would it feel if you could surrender to trusting the future of all the time? It is up to each of us to let go and experience trust for ourselves and this divine cosmic play called life. When we let go and trust what is and what will be, magical things begin to happen. The universe will start answering your every request because we are in alignment with what is, instead of trying to change, control, or conquer what is destined to be. The mind is too small, as we all know, of a container to understand how everything is predestined. And yet, we have the free will to change our imminent future. The future is not set in stone. It is written in the sand, which ironically is what allows the mind to experience the energy of worry in the first place. If everything was set in stone, there would be no way we could grow and have the grand experience of shifting from love to fear. If you are really ready to step permanently out of worry mode in your life, take an honest, deep look inside yourself and see what your personal worry issues are usually around. What are you so attached to, and why are you so attached to these issues and not the other issues? Get curious about the subtitles and the subtleties of these attachments, and simply notice how it feels to be attached. The next step is replacing your worry with wonder, being curious about what these hurting parts inside you truly need. After you find out what they are missing, love, trust, appreciation, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, then let them feel what they need. Feel a sense of wonder inside about everything inside you. Constantly refocus your mind on being curious about what it discovers is true and real. Every time the mind goes into worry, automatically replace it with wonder. Implement this simple switch the instant you begin worrying, and your life will become absolutely wonderful. Anytime this week, choose one of your main worries to replace with wonder. Right now, whenever you can, write down your top 3 biggest worries in this life. Then write down 3 new statements that flip these worries upside down by implanting the energy of wonder. For instance, if you are worried about making enough money to cover your bills, you might say, I wonder how the money I need this month is going to show up. Practice saying these wonderful sentences to yourself and out loud anytime you start to worry. Get curious about what fearful future you're running from and find out what it's like to be at peace, even if that future should occur. Focus your mind on the expansive feelings of peace, trust, relaxation. Anytime you get caught in fearful future mode, life is definitely full of surprises, and it will give any of us, each of us, the greatest gifts that we could ever desire if we remain curious and open. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, it's always the first thing, is relax our bodies, these bodies that we're in. Relax them from head to toe, inside and out. A lot of people have a hard time doing that. It's kind of a block. You know? And I mean naturally. No artificial substances to induce any relaxation, but naturally, where the body just lets go. And this is, again, being in wonderment. And you say, well, how do I relax my body? You let everything go. You surrender everything. Surrender is not giving up. You're just letting go of things. You have no attachments, and you have no expectations. Every single time, and I think we all know this, whenever we allow the ego mind to seduce us into what? Expecting things, right? And then what happens when we don't get them? We get irritated, frustrated, disappointed, let down. We suffer, right? And it's the same with attachments. When you want something and you attach yourself to it, what happens? You suffer. We all do. So knowing this, for the body's sake, we just look at things and say, I have no expectations and no attachments. Now, it's a fine line. But when you desire or you want something, you put that intention out in the best detail that you can possibly imagine to the universe, and then you let go. It's not like I want it to happen on this day and this hour. You just let that go. Because it's the trust first in ourselves. That's number one. Trusting in ourselves and trusting in the universe. And a lot of people say, well, the universe, that's silly. The ego mind comes in and it gets all miscombobulated. But if you practice it, when you choose to practice it, it becomes a definite. You just don't know, and that's fine. The universe will take care of it. And the universe does take care of it. And it always has and it always will. It's when we allow the mind and the ego to get involved there. That's when things kind of go skew. They go off base, so to speak. So one of our biggest vehicles, tools that we have, that we get with these bodies when we enter them, the breath. The breath is astronomical. We take it for granted. And the only time we don't is when something happens physically, and then we start getting concerned. So the breath, easy in through the nose, easy out through the mouth, natural. Not trying to, over inhale and over exhale. And so nice and easy. Good, deep, easy breath in through the nose. Good, deep, easy exhale out through the mouth. In with the good, out with the bad. Then the body responds. How many times have maybe you were focused where I'm going to focus on my breath, to calm yourself down, to ease yourself, to focus on something, right? And how many times has it failed you? Not once. So when we focus on our breath, what do we do when we're doing that? We leave the mind and ego and subconscious mind alone. We leave them alone. We don't interact. We don't participate. Then we become watchers. This is when the body really releases any tension, frustration, anxiety, fear, insecurities, and they all drop away. Because you're not focused anymore on those things. You're focused only on the breath. The breath is the moment, the now. And all we have, no matter how the ego mind will argue with you, is the now. Any of us only have the now. Everything happens in the now. We can contest it with ourselves all we want, but everything happens in the now. See, we have this tendency, because of the ego mind, to ignore the now and just keep going into a future or a past. Because we're in a hurry. We want to know things. We want to find out. Want to know if this is going to be, if that's going to be, so on and so forth. And then we get attached to it. And then we get expectations. And then what happens? What happens? We suffer. Now, knowing this is great. Practicing it is another thing. And it's practicing it every day. It isn't exhaustive. It's quite pleasant. Because then you start experiencing the outcome. And the interesting thing is that we're all natural at this. This isn't something that we gain. It's a natural state of being. We came to this planet, yes, to learn, to experience physical form. But we also came here to enjoy ourselves and our lives, to really enjoy them, and to have just a wonderful time as long as we're in these bodies. Because we all deserve the best of everything in this material, physical world. It isn't about being broke and poor. That's the ego mind. You can look at the ego mind as being broke and poor. And you can also look at the ego mind as being excessively wealthy and totally ignorant to why and how. So all that fear-based energy and the worry that the ego mind conjures up, because remember, never satisfied, always has to have more worry, more frustration, more anxiety. We flip the switch. It all falls away. Now, our breath is divine positive energy because the soul that we are, the God that we are, the pure consciousness, we enter these bodies, we power them. And we power them up, and the lungs function, everything comes online. And there is the breath that supports and sustains this physical vessel for each of us gods to experience physical life. There's lots of different lives in existence and beyond. There is physical life. There is spiritual life, etheric life. There's life inhabiting all forms of constructs. Then in the construct, we create our lives. And believe it or not, each of us have the power to choose how we want to have those lives, to live those lives. And since we're all natural-born manifestors, it doesn't make sense that any of us would be suffering. So when we still things, the ego mind, subconscious mind, we learn because we watch them. We don't judge them, we watch them. And we watch what they do, how they do it. Then you get to the point where you start understanding that that's ego. And it fades away. So you don't express the ego anymore. You don't suppress it. You just face it, but you identify it. And that's ego with yourself. Not a judgment, but an awareness. And then that ego, that what it's generating, just absolutely vanishes. Ego's still there, of course. So you'll know what it is that's motivating you to do a certain thing, and that's ego. You'll know it, and eventually you'll know it way before you even act it out. And this is how we learn to master the ego mind, as watchers, not participants. We leave the mind alone, and a whole new world is revealed to us. Now, when you look, we have three paths, general paths. One on the left, you're standing in the center, the center path. You see these gold circles, and the one on the left is the past, one on the right is the future, and the one in the center you're standing on is the now. Now, for some reason, because the ego is in such control all the time, we have a tendency to leave the now alone and to only peruse and journey the past or the future. Now, you look at these paths, and they're all shimmering, beautiful golden shimmer, the trees, the leaves, the branches, everything. And they formed a canopy over each of these paths. And each path has this brilliant emerald green grass. And it is just perfect. Now, the center path that you're currently, looking at, that you're standing on, looks brand new. The one on the left looks very used, and the one on the right looks very used. And see, what we do is we'll go in the past. We all go in the past. We all visit the past. None of us are exempt from it. And we have fun, too, because we remember things. And we've accumulated a lot of experiences. Some are not too great, but we still visit them. And then as we do that, and we experience that, it's fun, and boy, that was great, and so on and so forth. But then we close the book and shut the door and move forward. Some of us will go into that past, and they do not believe that it's on purpose or consciously aware, but we'll stay there. And we stay there so long that we end up bringing it into a future that doesn't exist, creating that future from that past and reliving that past and that future. This is why a lot of people will say, no matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Others of us will go into the future. Future doesn't exist because we're creating it in now. But since we ignore the now, we don't know that. We think it is a future. So we wander around and we ask ourselves, when is this going to happen? Or what if this happens? And when am I going to have this so I can enjoy this? And we all do it. But it does also create a feeling of worry. Say, what if I don't have enough money? What's going to happen? Right? What if I don't get healthier? What's going to happen? How am I going to live? What am I going to do? See, it cascades into many different areas. It fans out. So you can see why the now is it for any of us. It has always been that way, and it always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. So we focus on it. Focus on the breath. We have all these thoughts, and by the way, they're not ours. You've got tens of millions of thoughts that float in front of us like clouds passing by in the sky. They're programs. They're other people's thoughts. And they're tricky. And we all get fooled because we believe they're ours because our name's attached to it and it seems to be at the appropriate time comes in. And then you start picking up on the fact, that isn't my thought. And it vanishes and you no longer pursue it. But sometimes we do. We grab onto the cloud. You know, we could be in the now, focused on the moment with our breath, and then all of a sudden we wander off. This is when it is so important to recognize, to be gentle, kind, generous, humble with yourself. And be in deep, eternal gratitude 24/7 with yourself. Then when you have, you wander off, you say, this isn't an issue for me. I will focus on my breath and I'll be in the now. And 3,000% of the time you'll be in the now. And whenever it happens, because it happens, it wouldn't be a surprise if you find yourself going into the now 50, 60 times a day because you wander. But the neat thing is that you've identified it. You're not judging yourself. You just have identified, okay, I got this. I can see what's going on here. So you counteract it. Doesn't mean that the ego mind's not going to keep trying. When you put out a thought, here's an example. Universe. I want a new house, and then describe it. That's it. And let it go. That's a thought that you gave out. And this is how it's very finite. So you can start understanding that that's not my thought. Now, sometimes though, once we get there, then you'll be able to. Then you'll say, "That's not my thought, but I kind of like that thought. I can turn it into my thought anytime I wish." See? So it's not like we ignore all these passing thoughts. Sometimes we will take one, form it into our own, and then release it. So we know how to stay there. We know how to relax our bodies. You can have a relaxed body walking down the street. Your body can be relaxed naturally, talking to people, interacting, driving, sitting in a park. Doesn't matter. I think we've, always have thought that, it's this big deal. You got to go into this, do this, get the body relaxed. It's when you detach. It's when you leave everything alone exactly as it is. Now, we know we're not the body. We all know that. We are not the name. We are not the character, the personality. We are not our belongings. We are not our status in life. We are not what we own. We are the God within it. So when we enter these bodies, and we've learned to relax them, right? We've chosen to learn to relax them. And we look inside them, and we see these lights. There's 7 of them. Goes from the tailbone to the top of the head. They're all different colors, very vibrant colors, nothing like, much richer than here on Earth. And these are called chakras. And the definition of chakra is wheel. These are wheels of light. They're spiritual etherical energy. We are spiritual etherical energy. And we flow through these wheels of light, which connect the physical, the organic body, all the emotions, feelings, all of it, personality, character, organs, tissue, everything, right down to the quantum quark. This is how much each of the gods that we are in these bodies are connected to the bodies while in them. So doesn't it make sense that eventually, on our own choosing, by the journey within, we will discover that each of us will be able to heal the body we are in at any time, any place, anywhere, in a blink of the eye, no matter what's going on with it. And we're going there. We're already on that path. Now, we know that when we enter this body, the God, the pure consciousness, the source, the God source, powers this body up. Now, we are the heaven. Heaven isn't a place. Heaven is you, the God that you are. On earth, the body. And every step we take, we are creating paradise. Literally. Because we're consciously aware. Consciously aware just simply means that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. We know this. This has nothing to do with evil mind. It's got everything to do with our heart, mind, and the God that we are. And we've learned to shine our light. Just absolutely spectacular. We are shining our God force, love, light, energy 24/7 throughout infinity. And we're blasting everything, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe on this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. So if you were to take a starship outside this planet's atmosphere, and you got out there far enough and you saw the entire globe, you would see that it glowed. I mean, for goodness sakes, there's 8 billion gods on this planet, whether they're awake or asleep. So you would also notice that the surrounding lights in this universe would pale in comparison because it would look like they were all candles burning in dark space. Dim in comparison. Now, we also know that there are parts of us that are asleep. They don't know who and what they are, even at the God level. And then there are other parts of us that are consciously aware, that are awake to a certain extent. This is where we're communicating all the time. You don't always have to be cognizant of it, but we're communicating constantly because we're all part of each other. One of us could be 1 billion light years away, but we're still part of each other. There's no separation. Never was. Never will be. So we're communicating all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And the massive numbers, gigaplexes. 1 gigaplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of gigaplexes coming from trillions of universes in every direction. This is the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. This is ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, Abundantia, El Moria, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. Like all the light energy beings. On this planet, on and in and above it and below it, the eyes we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. Therefore, most of the light energy beings that come in all kinds of shapes, colors, forms, sizes, and configurations, and the light spectrums, the violet, the ultraviolet, the red, the infrared, the green, the blue, the gold, all of these light spectrums, we don't see them. But there is a group that we do interact with on a daily basis, some of it. It's the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur. Now, ask yourself this question. It's pretty common sense for us. Could we stay in these bodies if they did not receive air to breathe? No. The answer is no. Could we stay in these bodies if they never received water? No. Could these bodies exist without fire? Without earth? Without wood? Probably not. So in a way, we are deeply interactive with the magics, the elementals, which allow us to stay in these bodies. It all works together flawlessly once we understand and begin to journey within on who and what we are, where the ego mind takes the back seat and our heart mind is front and center. Now, the archangels, cherubim, and seraphim, the archetypes, they're a civilization that vibrated at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them like we see each other. But they're always there, always commenting to make a statement or something. And out of the clear blue, you could have a conversation with someone and you can kind of feel like, wow, this is nice. This is like I feel like I've known this person for a very long time. That's the God connection. And most people don't understand that yet. And then when you're done talking and you go about your day, whatever, night, you say to yourself, that was just not regular. That was an angel. And you feel bliss. Now, all of them can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of millions. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. And if you want them to, you ask them, and within a blink of the eye, they're all there. And that is bliss. And there's one message that they deliver to all of us, and they deliver it many different ways through many lifetimes. Isn't it absolutely magna-glorious to be alive in these bodies? Because you see, so many of us haven't discovered yet how wonderful it is to be in these physical forms, because we forgot who and what we are. So we are eliminating our amnesia to rediscover who and what we are. God. And we don't taste, we don't drink, we don't eat, we don't laugh, we don't cry, we don't smile, we don't frown. We don't take walks in parks. We don't hug each other. We don't do those things as gods. Because we're spiritual energy. We're etheric spiritual energy. We don't have solid physical. We're pure energy. Pure, deep, eternal love. So can you see why these bodies become so enticing for us and why we get so frightened when we're being threatened to leave them. Because we're so attached to them. And we have so much expectations with them. You see how it all connects? Everything perfectly designed by the universe. Now, the Ascended Masters. They have ascended into physical form and mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form. They hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. And we are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. The off-worlders, the galactics, the celestials. Over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. We're familiar with a small group. Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Sirians, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Anunnaki, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And all of us always connected, always one. Not the body, the God within. All gathered in Googleplexes for complete liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. In full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever. And it continues to intensify, it continues to expand and grow. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love, light, energy within each and every single one of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love. It is flooding this planet 24/7 throughout infinity. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes. This light is so brilliant that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to come even close to it. We begin to ascend above the planet, and we're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. And the best way to describe it, in its spectacularness, is a grand finale fireworks display that we've never seen ever on this planet. A supreme laser light show, and then a ballroom globe, mirrored globe that we know that's in the ballroom, and it reflects with mirrors the light, except it's 1 trillion times larger and 1 trillion times more intensive. And combine all these. And we're curious, so we go to the source of reflection. And we notice these perfectly tiny microscopic etched mirrors, and so we enter them. And we discover that all of us gathered in this meditation, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, consciously aware that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Are teaching each other, learning from each other, either student, teacher, teacher, student, or both. You start to realize that just on this planet, the tree isn't the life. The God within the tree is. The dog, the cat, the cow, the moose. It isn't the body, it's the God within it that powers the body. This is how we learn. We learn about ourselves, each other. We learn about the gods that we are within these bodies. That's absolutely spectacular, that when you start to focus and understand this, a whole new world opens up. Something that we had buried and didn't understand through our amnesia. There isn't a moment where we are not learning or teaching. And this is through the heart, mind of the gods that we are within these bodies. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we created to remind all of us that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light. This is a column of light we created of Archangel Michael that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with a white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are protected with a white fire armor. This white fire armor emanates from the God source within each and every one of us. Pure, deep, eternal love. It is impenetrable. It cannot be violated. No lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. No demon possession, no attachments. It's impervious. So we're always protected, 24/7. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously through hate, anger, greed, fear, worry, stress, hurry, envy, revenge, dishonesty, manipulation, deception, you will create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then there's all kinds of possibilities of attachment, possession, irritability, disenchantment, a lot of lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, opportunities. But if we do decide to do this, we are immediately met with the double column of light. The first part is purple transmuting flame. We created this column of light to remind us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness, where they are no more. The other part of this column is the violet ray. We created this part of the column to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden light, pink light. This is the column of light that we all created to remind us all, the gods in these bodies, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the mountains. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are the trees and the forests. We are the skies and the clouds. We are the animals. We are literally everything, and everything is us, the gods that we are. So the next time that you view a sunset or a sunrise, a mountain view, an ocean front, a snowfall, starry lit night sky, we always look at something like that and we say, isn't that beautiful? But when you become awake enough, you view it and say, that is the God that I am. And that comes from the God that you are within the body. That is the God that I am. We continue to ascend above the planet. And as we do, some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above it as long as we're carrying physical form. And we do this because it's fun and we can do it. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we see this oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see a golden white ball of light. And surrounding the golden ball of light, the golden white ball of light, are these numerous multicolored rings. And they almost seem like they never end. It's like infinity. And they're all creating this super bright white, it's like a mist. And it seems electrified. You can see kind of sparks and multicolors, absolutely flawless, beautiful. And it absorbs through our heart minds. And it's like a warm embrace that never ends. We discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude. Peace. Gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. Well-being. Bliss, joy. Tranquility, benevolence. Tremendous prosperity, tremendous abundance. And we discover that all of this is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of it, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees. What is the golden ocean? It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. And we're swimming in it. And it is, throughout infinity, bathing, saturating, flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, on, in, above, and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya. Not only that, we are drops of the golden ocean. And we hold the essence of the golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops, drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere as that center circle. We all created this sphere almost 4 years ago. It holds over 1,700 of our meditations in perpetual motion. These meditations continue to intensify, continue to expand and grow. And they're flooding us every day, 24/7, on the highest vibrational frequency. And we can plug into them anytime we choose. Anytime we choose. You can always choose to be at peace with what is at any moment of your life. You can decide to accept life's circumstances instead of resist or judge it. The result is total fulfillment and joy on every level of our being. It is your choice, each moment, where you choose to focus your attention on what you want and what you don't want. So focus only on what you want and be at peace. Be at peace with what you don't want. Entertain the feelings of being at peace, no matter what occurs in your outer world. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. This moment, is the only thing that is real. Everything happening between our ears is a grand illusion created by our minds. This moment contains the only true existence. It is the only place you can find the divine. The past and future are amazing, yet are delusions that take you away from the divine and are not actually real. They are continuously being fabricated and replicated by our minds. For 10 times randomly today, stop the mind by surrendering to the present moment, the now. An amazing spiritual experience will begin to unfold within each and every one of us. The longer we can remain completely present to the now, don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. See for yourself. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we will return here Monday, January 3rd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.